Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Don't Breathe. This house looked like an easy target until they found what was inside.
Directed by Fede Alvarez, who did the Evil Dead remake, Don't Breathe stars Jane Levy, Stephen Lang, Daniel Zovatto, and Dylan Minnette. This film is about a group of young adults who break into houses and steal shit. They try and flip it because they want to get out of the ghetto of Detroit and move to California. Unfortunately, they break into the wrong house. So what do we like? This movie took a concept that we're familiar with, the little cat and mouse game in a house, a home invasion kind of film, similar to something that we've seen in Hush, where the woman was deaf. In this one, there was a blind man, and they were able to use the lack of sight as a way to kind of move the story along, and it was really cool to see.
This film had tons of tension in it. It built it up in a unique way by not having a lot of dialogue. The tension is being built because our characters are trying to sneak through, and it's just building this atmosphere that gives you goosebumps. It makes your hair rise.
Because he doesn't talk, he just seems way more badass. The motivation is, somebody broke into my house and now I have to deal with it.
It's realistic in the sense that they built this neighborhood up that it's only him, it's not a nice place, so his windows are gonna be barred, and he has like 3 or 4 locks on the doors so people don't break in. It's very realistic, and that's what makes this film more suspenseful.
Being that there wasn't a lot of dialogue in the film, I thought all of our actors handled the situations well. And you can tell by their eyes and facial expressions, and even just subtle movements, all of these little nuances were exactly what you were feeling as you're watching it. They really captured the realism in that sense. And it made me terrified of dogs. Touching on the technical aspects of this film, the cinematography was extremely well done. When our characters first enter the blind man's house, we have this probably a 4-minute long take where the camera just follows each of our characters. It allows us to get a feel for the house because this is the central location of the movie, and we know exactly how the house is laid out, and it allows the audience to kind of envision yourself in that same situation, and you can try and put together what you might do and what you might expect from the characters.
And they did a really good job playing off of more backlighting and creating this mood that makes you really feel for the characters. And there is one moment in this movie where they actually go to night vision, because then you're getting the perspective of what the blind man has been going through. And that's now what our characters are experiencing, and you're experiencing it as well, because you can't see what's gonna happen next. And that's what keeps this story a really strong guessing game.
In classic Fede Alvarez fashion, when you think the movie's about to end, there's another half an hour left. There are lots of twists and turns, and I'm not gonna spoil anything. Like Big Brother, expect the unexpected. Within the first 15 minutes, our main characters are in the blind man's house, and that's where they stay for the whole movie. So shit gets real, scripts get flipped, and it's crazy. Now it's time for our dislikes.
This is a dislike I have in many films, and that's when the ending is the first shot. It's not the last shot in the film, but we don't need like the last arc to be the first shot in the film, because I'm too focused on when it's gonna happen. It's a pet peeve of mine, so it's very disappointing.
Well, this movie is fairly realistic. There are situations closer to the beginning of the film that are gonna make you kind of think that these guys are idiots. These guys are smashing windows, they're just busting through, they're having arguments on the porch of the blind man's house when they're trying to rob him for $300K. They're pretty good at actually entering the house, but then they're just fucking chatty Cathys when they're walking through the house.
If he was deaf, okay, that makes sense. But he's blind. If anything, his hearing is better.
When there's that much on the line, don't start talking to your buddy like, hey man, she doesn't like you, she likes me. Save that for 3 o'clock, meet him at the bikes. I did think that there were a little too many twists, and there were some that were almost like unnecessary. But that being said, I think a lot of these were introduced to kind of play with the theater audience, and I don't think it's gonna play as well when you're watching it at home. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Don't Breathe was a great film. Considering that this takes place in one location, the pacing was great. Because we're in that house the entire film, there's lots of interesting situations that our characters get into, and it's just a fun time. So I'm gonna give this 4 turkey basters out of 5.
Don't Breathe really has you holding your breath throughout the entire movie. The soundtrack is probably one of the best things in this film because it really knows how to play off of the suspense, because it almost feels like you're there. The only downfall I have with this comes towards the end of the movie. There's too many endings that the tension is lost, but I really think everyone should go out and see this film because it's fantastic. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this 4 blind guy pot shots out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, it's in theaters. Go check it out. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond. But seriously, Rottweilers? Nope. Nope. Nope.
Keep those little sausages on you.